Hello students, how are you all? I hope all of you are doing amazing. So welcome all of you at an AriserTalent, and AriserTalent is an e-learning platform where you can get the video lectures recorded by the expert faculty of the Kota, whether it may be of the CBSE, NTSE, JEE or NEET. You will get a wide range of the courses you are searching for. So what you have to do, you have to just subscribe our channel and like our videos for further notifications, so you will get whatever you are searching for. Apart from this, you will get a sample paper, chapter notes, test series and the doubt section also provided to you. So you can comment your doubt whether it may be from the various fields you are searching for. So what you have to do, you have to just subscribe our channel for more interesting videos like this. So I'm Krina Dayani, welcomes you all. So we are discussing about the chapter number 3 of the physics, that is the light reflection and refraction. So until now, in our first lecture, we have seen that what is the light and what are the basic theories related to light. Now, on proceeding to this lecture, today we are going to discuss about many more interesting topics, and the next topic is about the sources of light. So, there are many sources in nature from which light is coming. So, actually we have the two sources of the light. So, first one is that something have a tendency to emit light and some things do not have a tendency to emit their own light. So, on the basis of that, the sources of light are actually classified into two categories, that is the luminous one and the non-luminous one. So, we have the two sources of light, that is, first one is luminous objects and the second one is non-luminous objects. Now, the name is signifying here luminous and non-luminous. Luminous objects are those objects which have a tendency to emit light, and these can be again categorized into the two parts, that is the natural and the human made. So, luminous term itself signifies that the material have a tendency to emit light. So, luminous objects are the one which have tendency to emit light. So, this will be known as your luminous objects. On the other hand, non-luminous objects are the one which do not have their own light, just like a moon. Moon do not have its own light, but it is shining due to the sunlight falling on it. This is a very simple thing we have learned about in our junior classes. So, objects which have a tendency to emit light are known as the luminous objects, and these are again categorized into the two parts, that is natural and the second one is man-made. Now, natural. Natural means the objects which have their own light, and the own natural light is having a very simple example. Can you tell me the example? I am telling you the example. The example here is sun. Sun is having its natural light. Example here is sun. But if I am talking about the man-made luminous object, the man-made luminous objects is an oil lamp. If we are using oil lamp will be just an example for the non-luminous or man-made object. So, this is a category of objects which have a tendency to emit light. Now, on moving to our next category, non-luminous objects are the objects which do not have their own light. It means these are the objects which do not have their own light. So, the objects which do not have their own light are termed as non-luminous object, and its very common example is moon. Example is moon here, and the moon is giving us light just because the sunlight is falling on it. So, it is shining just because of the sunlight. So, this is a category of the sources of the light we have. Now, after discussing the theories and after discussing the sources of light, let's move to the next topic, that how the light will propagate and what are the actual properties of the light. So let's move to the propagation of the light. So let's discuss about the propagation of light. Now, light actually always travels in a straight line. This topic we will discuss later, that what is the rectilinear propagation of light, but until this level you have to understand that the light always travels in the straight line. Suppose if I am going in the straight path, now if any vehicle, any car, any bike come on my way, what will I do? I will just divert my path. It means similarly light always travels in the straight line, but any obstacle, any object comes in the path of the light, it will going to change its medium. It means, since similar concept, light is going to travel in a straight line and it only changes or deviates from one medium to another when there is any object in its path. So, light travels in a straight line. And it changes its path only when there is an object in its path. So if there is an object in its path, it will going to change its path. Now, in the propagation of light, we require the three type of the mediums. That is, for the propagation of the light, we have the three kind of the medium. First medium is the transparent, second one is the opaque, and the third one is the translucent. So what you have to do, you have to study these three mediums for the propagation of the light, and these three mediums are, first one transparent, second one opaque, and the third one is translucent. So actually we have these three kinds of the medium for the traveling of light. First one is the transparent, second one is the opaque, and the third one is the translucent medium. Now what are these mediums? Let's discuss these kind of the medium. The first one is the transparent medium. This is a very common term you have aware about, that what is transparent. Transparent means which have a tendency to pass a light through it, and in this type of medium light can travel a longer distances. Suppose if I am considering an example of glass here. This is glass. If I pass the light through it, the light will going to definitely pass over this medium, because glass is actually a transparent medium we have. If I pour water in this glass, again the light have a tendency to pass through it, because water is again a transparent medium we have. So the transparent mediums are those mediums through which light can travel a longer distance. So what we can say, that transparent mediums are those through which light can travel a long distance. So Just we have an example here. Example can be glass, water, or more examples we have. So example I am taking here is glass and water. So this is about the transparent medium. Now, the definition is just opposite in case of the opaque mediums. Opaque mediums are actually those mediums which do not have a tendency to pass light through them. Suppose if I am considering any brick or wood, this is a wooden piece I have. If I am considering this wooden piece and if I am going to pass the light through it, the light is not going to pass through this medium because the light do not have a tendency to travel through this medium. So this is an example of the opaque object. So opaque object will not allow the light to pass through them, and the example of the opaque medium we have is, let's write here, objects which do not allow light to pass through them. And this type of the objects are of our second category, and these objects are known as opaque objects. And we can consider here the example of the opaque objects are wood and brick. So we can write example here. Wood and brick. So it is our second category, that is about the opaque objects we have. And this is our first category, that is our transparent objects. Now, moving to our next category, that is about the translucent medium or the translucent medium. We have the translucent medium are those medium in which the light travels through some distance but later on its intensity get reduced. So, if I am considering the oil, you can see that for some extent the light can pass through the oil but its intensity will be reduced after traveling through some distance. So, these are our translucent objects. So, the third category is the objects through which light travels some distance but intensity gets reduced. And its example we have is oil. Example we have is oil, and this is our third definition, that is about the translucent medium. So actually we have the three type of the mediums here. First one is transparent, second is opaque, and third one is translucent. I am just giving the short description once again. Transparent medium are those in which light can easily pass through. Example we have is glass and water. Second is the opaque medium in which the light do not have a tendency to propagate, and the example here is a wood. Third one is the translucent medium. These mediums have a tendency to pass the light through some distance but its intensity get reduced as the light will pass through it, and the example we have is oil. So this is about the propagation of the light we have discussed. Now we are going to deal with the properties of light, but firstly just copy this part from here. So now let's move to the properties of light. So let's discuss about properties of light. Now, what will be the basic properties for the light? First thing is, light, it always travels in a straight line, that we have concluded just before that. Secondly, light is an electromagnetic wave. Thirdly, light will have a tendency to travel in the vacuum. So it may be in travel in the vacuum. So we can say that it is also a transverse wave. Fourthly, the light will have a tendency that if it is going to pass through a polished surface, it will deviate its path. It will change its path while traveling from one medium to another, and it have a speed that is the greatest speed in vacuum among all the objects, that is concluded by the scientist. So these are few of the properties of the light we have. So just note down this property because these properties are very, very important. So the first property we have is that light travels in straight line. Secondly, light is an electromagnetic wave. Third point is, light travels in vacuum with a speed 3 into 10 raised to the power 8 meter per second. Next point, light have a tendency to flow in some, not only in the gases but in some solids and also liquids, light have a tendency to flow. So we can say that apart from gases, light also have a tendency to flow in solids and gases. Next one is, if light falls on any polished surface, if light is going to fall on any polished surface, suppose I am saying that polished surface is mirror. If light is falling on any polished surface like mirror, it will bounce back. This phenomena will be a reflection that we will discuss in our further lectures. It will bounce back. So this is the one of the important property of the light. Next property is that if light travels from one medium to another, it is going to change its path. It means if light travels from one medium to another, it is going to change its path, and this phenomena is known as the refraction. That is the name of our chapter. We are going to discuss it in our further lectures. It changes its path. Now, scientists have concluded that light have a greatest speed. So, according to the scientist, light have a speed of 299,792,458 meter per second. So, you can see that how much is the speed of light here. So, light of the speed is such that it will take a very short span, either in the blink of the eye, you can see that the light will travel. So, this is the speed of the light calculated according to the scientist, and this is its value. And scientists also concluded that no other object is made till now which have a speed that is greater to the speed of the light. So, scientists concluded that no other thing in nature have a speed greater than speed of light. So, These are the few of the properties of the light we have, and these are very important properties that light always travels in the straight line. It is electromagnetic in nature. Whenever it falls on a polished surface, it will bounce back, but whenever it travels from one medium to another, suppose from air to water, it is going to deviate its path. And its value in vacuum is 3 into 10 raised to the power 8 meter per second, and it has the highest speed that is calculated according to the scientist. So, in our today's lecture, we have discussed about the sources of the objects, properties of the light, and the three type of the medium we have, that is transparent, translucent and opaque. So, this lecture is over here. We will start our new session with a new concept that is known as reflection. So, this is all over for today. Thank you so much and have a nice day.